Have you ever wondered if you could actually make someone fall in love with you? Like, scientifically? Well, today we're going to crack open a time capsule from 1996 that promises to teach you just that. This is a look at a guide to literally engineering romance. Let's get into it. So here it is, How to Make Anyone Fall in Love with You by Lael Loans. This thing came out in the mid-90s, and its whole philosophy is pretty simple. Don't just sit around waiting for Cupid's arrow to strike. Nope, you're supposed to take aim yourself. The book basically presents a world where love isn't some random accident, it's an outcome you can strategically create. Which, brings us to a pretty radical question. Can something as messy and profound as love actually be engineered? Can you really break it down into a series of techniques and formulas? Well, according to this book, the answer is a big, unequivocal yes. Okay, so to even get on board with this approach, we have to accept the book's foundational premise. Love isn't some unknowable, mysterious magic. It's a science. The author argues that for a long time, we've looked at love the same way ancient people looked at an eclipse, like it was black magic or some kind of enchantment. But, she says, we know better now. Love is just a cocktail of chemistry, biology, and psychology. And if you know the ingredients, well, you can learn how to mix it yourself. And you have to remember, this whole idea of scientifically studying love was hugely controversial. I mean, back in 1975, Senator William Proxmire completely lost it when he found out the National Science Foundation was funding a study on relationships. He basically said that science had no business being in the love racket. But clearly, Lowndes disagreed. She believed the code could be cracked. All right, so how do you actually start engineering love? Well, according to Lowndes, every single thing kicks off with that very first impression. And right off the bat, we've got to talk about the language in this book, because throughout the entire thing, the person you want to fall in love with you is called the quarry. And you, the reader, you're the hunter. Yeah, it's definitely dated and it sounds a little predatory now, but it frames every single technique as a strategic move in a very, very serious game. This brings us to technique number 1, dress for the kill, everywhere. The book's whole point is that the real first impression doesn't happen on a planned date. It happens when your quarry first sees you out in the wild, at the grocery store, at the vet, you name it. You have to be ready for that moment. The trap must always be set. So, after you're dressed for the kill, it's all about the eyes. The book lays out 4 specific techniques to create an instant, powerful connection. You've got the intense gaze. You've got the slow, sensual bedroom eyes. Then there are sticky eyes, where you act like your gaze is literally glued to theirs. And finally, the visual voyage, which is a slow scan of their face. The goal here is to create a feeling that's primal, a little unsettling, and very sexy. But okay, physical attraction is just the beginning. That's level 1. The next phase of the plan is to build a deep psychological connection. And the key ingredient for that? Similarity. So why is similarity so important? Well, Lowndes argues that it creates this safe little cocoon for 2 people. It gives them that feeling of it's you and me against this crazy, chaotic world. When someone feels like you just get them, like you see the world the exact same way they do, they start to feel secure. And that feeling of security, according to the book, is the foundation for love. Now, this slide shows one of the book's cleverest little tricks for, let's say, manufacturing that feeling of similarity. It's called the echoing method. And it's really simple. You just listen to the exact words your quarry uses, and then you echo them back. So look at this example. If she's an actress talking about rehearsals, a generic reply might be to ask about our practice, but that word marks you as an outsider. The echoing reply uses her word, rehearsals, which sends this subconscious signal that you're on the inside, that you're part of her world. And this whole idea of mirroring goes way beyond just words. It extends to body language, too. The book actually claims that people from different social classes literally move differently. This quote comes from a story about a woman who said she could spot the richest guy in a casino just by the way he walked. So the advice, if you want to attract your quarry, you have to learn to copy their class act, their posture, their gestures, their entire vibe. Okay, so you've mastered the first impression. You've built a cozy cocoon of similarity. The next and final frontier is sexual chemistry. But here's the twist. The book argues it's not about what you find sexy. It's about discovering your partner's deepest and often unspoken fantasies. So, for men trying to understand what women want, the book offers this, well, pretty surprising piece of advice. Yes, you are seeing that correctly. Read a Harlequin romance novel. The logic is basically that 25 million readers can't be wrong about what turns them on. So what are the big lessons here? Well, these romance novels reveal that for a lot of women, arousal isn't just physical. As you can see from these points, it's all about the emotional buildup, the romance, the tension. It's about getting to see the hero's feelings described in detail, and it's about the promise of a future together. Ultimately, it's the entire emotional story, not just the final chapter.
And all of this leads to a broader point the book makes over and over again, that men and women are often operating on completely different sexual scripts. Lowndes argues that men's fantasies tend to revolve around visual novelty, while women's are much more tied up with emotion and narrative. And understanding this fundamental difference, the book says that's absolutely essential.
All right, let's tie all these different threads together. After all the techniques, the hunting metaphors, and the strange advice, what is the final equation for making someone fall in love with you? It all boils down to this one idea. The entire method is about becoming a kind of detective of desire. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to figure out what a person truly, deeply needs, to feel understood, to feel secure, to feel desired in their own unique way, and then to become the person who gives them that. This quote from the book's afterword really says it all, doesn't it? The philosophy here isn't just be yourself and hope for the best. No way! It's a call to action. It's telling you to consciously fashion our deeds, to meet the needs of the mortal we want to make fall in love with us. And that leaves us with one final and pretty unavoidable question. Is all of this a brilliant scientific formula for creating genuine love and a deep connection? Or is it just a masterclass in manipulation, a guide to becoming a chameleon just to get what you want? The book provides the techniques, but the ethics of it all, well, that's for you to decide.